she owes people $20 million. Where is she going to get that money from? She's going to get it from people that she's emailing now.
Unless she still has $30 million in her account.
Is that possible? Are those financials available?
I don't know.
That's not what it says on the FEC report, but I don't know.
How much does the FEC report say she has in holdings?
So the FEC report, I didn't see any cash on hand on the FEC reports. All you see is but the problem is you also have so many other entities. You have the PACs, you have the super PACs, you have the Kamala Fight Fund, and then you also have the Kamala Harris for President Fund. So you have all these different funds. You don't really know, but at this point, for the past 2 reports that she's filed, because you have to file a 15-day post, and then also there's going to be a 30-day post. So we're going to see here very shortly if she actually still has that debt moved. Is there less debt? I don't know, but how do you end? You got to think about it.
They are fundraising.
They start up. They're fundraising for a false promise.
For a recount.
Right. I see that as a false promise.
So they fundraise for a recount, and the argument from the press was that it's for other recounts in Congress or something to that effect. But when I saw the statement,
there's a disclaimer on the bottom. It tells you what it's for.
It did. Well, what I saw initially from their announcement of a fundraiser, it just said recount fundraiser. It didn't say anything about any other campaigns.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember back in 2020 when Trump was fundraising and stuff, after the 2020 election, there was also a thing there too where the Democrats were hitting him because like 3% of it were going to paying back campaign debt. And so, but in this case, the percentage is a lot higher for going to pay back campaign debt because that's what it's actually for. I mean, but you even have to think about it. Okay, if you have a $1.5 billion in cash on hand, say we get to the 30-day mark and they still have massive amounts of debt. Say they've paid down $5 million in debt. What does that do for the Democrat Party at that point? Because they're on the hook for it. Somebody's got to pay for that.
No.
Why not? They're just going to file for bankruptcy and then move on.
The campaign is going to cease to exist.
Okay, but who's going to keep giving? Who's going to give $20 million of credit to the Democrat candidates at this point?
Every single company.
They typically do pay back. I mean, they typically end up doing that. But
when if an entity has $1 million, and and you see in the press and everyone knows they have $1 million. And let's say Kamala says we want to hire a production company. It's $100,000. They say okay, it's $10,000 or it's $25,000 down, and then you got to pay the next half once on the day of, and then we have you have 2 weeks to pay the rest. So likely a lot of this debt is not just they took out a credit line for $1 million and then never paid them anything. They likely made down payments and semi-payments and still owe them remaining on the books. So it's probably a bunch of different entities they owe partial each to. So these companies each see them paying a sum. It's not like someone one day went to an organization that was completely broke and said, we'll extend you a $20 million line of credit. It's probably what's going to happen in the future is a Democratic campaign is going to raise $1 billion and everyone's going to beg to work with them because they're going to get paid. They get paid stupid amounts of money to work on these campaigns. Mm-hmm. And then if the company ends up going in debt, everybody expects this. If they're like, if she wins, we're good. If she loses, we're in trouble.
Yeah, but at what point do you look at this from the standpoint of, okay, do you really want this person in control of the federal budget? When you go, I mean, you got to keep in mind, at the end of the day, even if there's still cash on hand to pay off that $20 million in debt, I don't know why you wouldn't just pay it.
I'll push back on that a little bit. They argue that Donald Trump has several bankruptcies, therefore he shouldn't be in charge of the federal budget. But it's like, look, if the Harris campaign and Democrats did mismanage money, okay, fine. But everyone keeps saying, haha, she's $20 million in debt, and I'm like, Donald Trump, I think, has more debt than she does. I think Donald Trump's debt is substantially higher.
He's also got assets to back.
So the question is, what are Kamala Harris's campaign's assets?
But look at it, $1.5 billion over a 3-month period. She managed to blow through that and still get blown out of the water in the election. That would be my argument. That would be my counter argument to that. Clearly, she can't manage money. They have no idea how to use it effectively. If they're going to pay Beyonce $10 million or whatever, millions of dollars to Oprah, and it didn't move the needle. And if it did move the needle, she was down in the 20-point range, and they managed to bring it up a little bit.
You can't buy authenticity. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.